All right, let's talk politics. And boy, what a week it has been for Quebec politics. Doesn't matter what party we're talking about here. Let's bring in Victor Henriquez, Public Affairs Crisis Management Specialist over at Public Strategy and Conseil. Victor, welcome back.
Good morning, Elias.
Let's start off with the news from Quebec City yesterday and Premier Christine Fréchette unveiling her cabinet. This is her opportunity to put her mark on Quebec, to tell Quebecers, this is who I stand with, and this is the team that's going to lead you. What do her picks say about that statement?
First of all, they say that she only have 5 weeks left at the National Assembly, so she was limited in the changes she could make. And I know that they worked on several scenarios. One of the scenarios, for example, was to bring a non-elected person to the cabinet, but it didn't work. And with that matter, knowing that there were 5 weeks, you prefer to keep continuity, to keep stability, because you want to make sure to deliver projects more than to deliver new faces. And that's the choice she did in the main files of the government, which are health, education, economy, and the Treasury Board, for example, or the finance.
Is there a risk that by keeping a lot of the same people in many of the same roles, she's telling Quebecers we're the same old CAQ, or is the fact she's the new one, she's the new premier? Is that all the fresh face you need in Quebecers' minds?
That's the fresh face you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And I think that, yes, it's a short-term risk, but the next election will be a marathon, Elias. And she's running a marathon that is going to last for 5 months now. And I think she made the choice to deliver projects, and we're going to know who those projects are going to be starting on May 5th, when she's going to bring back the National Assembly, and she's going to tell us what are the projects that she's going to push before the end of the Assembly. And I think that after that, presenting her new candidates, for example, and the electoral platform, she's going to be able to show then the kind of change that she wants to be. So for now, the change is her. There are some new faces, Karine Bourassa, for example, Samuel Poulin. You see Danielle Bernard coming in, so she's going to represent some regions. There are some new changes. For example, the creation of this minister responsible for the regions. Mm-hmm. Something interesting, something that she's going to bring that to the conversation. But for the ones like me who were expecting big changes and who like symbols, this shuffle doesn't have much symbols.
So you were expecting a bit more of that, fair to say.
I was hoping a little bit more changes, because I'm part of the people, being a communication guy, people who think that Quebecers need images of change right now. And yes, one of them is to have a new premier. But at the same time, when we talk about health, for example, we always see the same person, it's hard for Quebecers to think that this is a new government. Mm-hmm. But I understand the reason why. And sometimes, you have to make a choice between the good reasons, continuity, and the fact that the value of symbols. Right now, she chose continuity, and that's a good thing for Quebecers, because we are going to see projects happening.
Anything that truly surprised you on the major role that Bernard Drinville has? There's something that's just one thing that sticks out at you where you did say, "Whoa."
For Bernard Drinville, it's a huge change, because he's going to have an economic ministry for the first time in his life, but it's going to be only for 5 weeks or so. So he's not going to be able to make any strong choice. I think that the change I like the most, and it's a shame that it's going to be a short-term change, is the fact that Yann Lafrenière is the deputy premier, but at the same time, he's now responsible for interior security. You remember, he used to be in charge of public security, and now we are enlarging that to interior security, which means that he's going to have a broader
portfolio
space of action, a portfolio. And I think that it's an interesting change. And I hope that the next government, whatever color it is going to keep that, because it's interesting to look at that way, especially with the fact that now defense is going to be important, for example. So it's something that he could have the responsibility to talk about.
It's hard to find a lot of people who will say a bad thing about Yann Lafrenière in Quebec City in the National Assembly. So I think that speaks volumes about him. Let me ask you, before I have to let you go, I want to talk about convictions. And I want to bring in the Liberals and the Parti Québécois into this conversation. So last week, we know what happened with Charles Milliard, Bill 96, Youth the Notwithstanding Clause, the back and forth, the waffling, flip-flopping, whatever you want to call it, where people are questioning, what are his actual convictions? And then this week, we have a poll out from Léger, and it says if PSPP, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, if he let go of the referendum, he'd cruise to a majority. Yesterday he comes out and he says, no way, no how. These are my convictions. I'm not changing. Doesn't matter what the polls say. I don't know. I'm putting these two stories together here and making them a thing about convictions. I wonder what's your perspective on this.
To govern and to lead a province, you need to have convictions. And I think that Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon has shown that he has those convictions. But at the same time, you need to compromise, because you can never make everyone happy, and you cannot only stick to your personal opinion on matters. What I liked about the position of Charles Milliard, and I think it was not properly explained, he should have been more clear from the beginning, is that he's going to have to face a choice on the now standing clause. And yes, like Robert Bourassa did, if he needs to, he's going to use it. Now the question is, when is he going to use it? Is he going to use it prevently, or is he going to use it after tribunals' decisions? And that's the big question, because Bourassa used it after, and that's the liberal tradition. I think he should have said that way. Said it that way, and people would have understand that in the liberal tradition, you use it after the tribunals.
I know you said you can't make everyone happy. Certainly, it seems what Milliard has done. He's upset nationalists. He's upset the Anglo base. He's upset everyone over all of this, right?
That's the thing when you're not clear. But he's learning his new job too, and I think that he's going to have enough time to clarify the position. Now for PSPP, the risk for him is that he's not ready to compromise on anything. Mm-hmm. He was basically saying yesterday that immigration is a huge issue, that the federal government has a plan with immigration on trying to, replace Quebecers. He's not going to compromise.
But is it different here, Victor? Because he's saying this isn't a thing you can compromise on. It's the raison d'être. So I think what he's saying is this is the one thing that to stay true to himself, he can't compromise. Now, it may be a political mistake, but I think that's what he's saying.
And it is a compromise. But the question is, if you want to lead the province and do what's best for Quebecers, are you really going to do a referendum with the economic situation we have right now and with the instability brought by Donald Trump and the way he does politics? Mm-hmm. You were listening to this morning about the ASEAN negotiation, who are not going very well. Are you really going to bring a referendum into all this matter? Yeah. I don't think it's the right timing. And as you said, conviction is very important, but compromise sometimes is to choose the right timing for your population. I don't know if he's ready to do that. And from what I read from his text from yesterday, he's not ready to compromise on the referendum, and he's going to be attacked for that by every other party for the next 5 months.
Victor, come back real soon. Great talking to you. That's Victor Henriquez from Public Affairs and Crisis Management Specialist at Public Strategy and Conseil.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.